the USA Powerlifting Organization has been ordered by a Minnesota court to reverse its ban on trans athletes. The presiding judge said that the USAPL must cease and desist from all, quote, unfair discriminatory practices. This case stems from a 2-year legal fight over the policy that began with a lawsuit filed by J.C. Cooper, claiming that the sporting organization was violating rules set by the Minnesota Human Rights Act passed in 1973. The crux of the ruling here is that the USAPL took Miss Cooper's money and then tried to pull a separate but equal on her because of her gender identity in violation of Minnesota's non-discrimination laws. The judge stated that USAPL denied her the full and equal enjoyment of services, support, and facilities the USAPL had offered its other members. Continuing, it separated Cooper and segregated her, and in doing so failed to fully perform the contractual obligations it agreed to when accepting Cooper's money. Ms. Cooper said of the situation, "I jumped through every hoop, cleared every hurdle to be able to compete in the USA Powerlifting, but it was met with a retroactive ban on trans athletes." Harvard University swimmer Skylar Baylor told Pink News that following the policy announcement, he was unaware what research they were using to justify the policy. There's a really big problem with putting out rules right now on trans athletes because we don't actually have robust research, he said. Why? Because we're not allowed to play. Not a lot of us have actually competed at elite level sports because of the amount of discrimination we experience, which is a good point. There aren't enough trans athletes that make it to elite level, either because of discrimination or because they don't have a physical advantage or aren't, skilled enough in the sport to get to the elite level. So it's one of those things where it's first off not a threat. It's not an important issue because it's not really affecting many people. And there isn't enough research because there aren't enough elite athletes who are trans to gather data. It's a really double-edged sword, isn't it? Because you can't prove that trans people do or don't have an advantage because there aren't enough people in elite sports, which sort of in its own way proves that they don't have an advantage. But you can't prove it because there aren't enough to put together a study.